Hi everyone, welcome to the English to Takeaway podcast. This is episode 21. My name is Richard, also known as the Grammar Goat on social media. I'm an English teacher and a content creator. I'm delighted to introduce my co-host Jordan.
Thank you very much. My name is Jordan. On social media, you may have seen some of my content, English Lingo or English Lingo with Jordan. I'm also an English teacher and content creator as well. And yeah, fantastic to get back into the podcast again. It's been a little while since we recorded one, so it's nice to get back into the swing of things.
Absolutely, and I'm laughing to myself because we've just had quite an interesting chat, haven't we, before sort of pre-record, before we've
Yes,
come on to record. And yeah, we've had a break. You've been away, Jordan, haven't you? Traveling,
indeed.
been to
Yes.
Thailand. So I want to kick things off by asking you some questions really about your trip to Bangkok, if that's okay.
Absolutely, yeah, no problem at all. Actually, we got back last, last Friday. We got back, so we were in Bangkok for about 4 days, and which was good. And yeah, it was a nice breakaway. Actually, it was good to get out and have a different scenery and see some new things. So yeah, it was nice, very good.
So how was the journey there? Because I think you mentioned before that it was quite a long journey, wasn't it? You had a few flights and you had a long stopover, didn't you, as well, somewhere?
Yeah, we did. So we had a stopover in Cebu. So for us, where we live, we had to go from Dumaguete to Cebu, which is not really any distance at all. It took like 30 minutes to get there. That flight was pretty cool actually because we went on a propeller plane. So it's one of the big. It's quite well. I wouldn't say it's a big one, but smaller version, but actual propeller plane, which you don't often get to go on nowadays. So that was really cool. And then when we got to Cebu, yeah, we had to wait for a bit, but unfortunately, with Filipinos, they have to have what's called like an e-travel ticket thing to go in and out of the country. We didn't realize that for my wife, so we had to sort that out once we got to Cebu, and that took a little bit of time. Luckily, it was okay. The only issue that we had was is that we had to check in twice, one in Dumaguete and one in Cebu. If we had sorted it out beforehand, we only had to check in once and everything would have been fine, and we didn't need to we wouldn't have needed to worry about checking in a second time. So yeah, that took a long time.
Was there a big queues then to join, and did you have to queue up for a long time?
In Cebu, yes. Yeah, in Cebu it took a little while. But generally speaking, everything was fine. It was no problem. The only thing that I really find quite stressful is, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it seems to me with Cebu Pacific, the one that we were using, airline that we were using, they have a gate number and it's on the board, and then that's only like a placement gate number or something. And then they have the final gate number, which they announce later. And you're caught between the two. Like, where do you go? Do I do I look at the board and sit outside this one, or do I sit somewhere else and just wait for the final one? So we had to move about three times because we didn't know where the hell we were going. Um, yeah, so that was a little bit stressful, like finding the actual gate that we needed to be at. So uh,
I have had something similar. I remember being I was in Doha airport and I was
oh
traveling
yeah,
to Nepal to Kathmandu, and I was with a friend and we looked at the board and we found what we thought was the gate area,
Yeah.
went off to have some relaxation time and just chill out a bit, and then looked back at the screen and it had completely changed, and the new gate was like all the way on the other side of the airport.
Yeah.
So we're basically running across the airport. My friend is she's a very accomplished runner, so she runs a lot. So she was fine, sort of running ahead.
She
I
left you in
was
her dust.
I sort of had the bags, and I was trying to
Wow.
keep up, and got to the gate, drenched in sweat,
Yes.
only to find that there was hardly anyone there. So we'd sort of panicked for nothing, basically.
Crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, you can underestimate the size of an airport, can't you? And you don't
Oh,
realise, like,
yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
need to get a train, for example, to get to the gate. You don't always
Absolutely.
realise how big the place is.
I think that the airport itself in Cebu is lovely. Like I was really impressed with it. It was really, really nice. And um, personally, I found Cebu Airport to be better than Manila. So if I fly anywhere now, I'm going to try and make sure that I fly from Cebu because, yeah, the airport was really, really good. But you are right. The distance between the gates can be very deceiving, and you
Mm.
you think you think to yourself, oh yeah, it's only just down the road, yeah, down the corridor, a couple of meters, but yeah, actually it takes 10 minutes to get there. You're like,
Yeah,
oh no.
yeah, or more, because they're like mini cities nowadays, aren't they? International airports, they're so
Oh yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Um,
Especially the ones in big cities, as you mentioned, like Heathrow is just so incredible. I wouldn't want to get lost in Heathrow. It's yeah, a nightmare to get out of. But yeah, they're massive nowadays. Airports are really, really big.
so you got to Cebu Airport,
Yeah,
you queued up for a bit, and then you got your flight to Bangkok. And how was the flight? It was okay.
flight was great. The the only issue that we had was that the temperature on the flight was freezing. Someone had cranked up the aircon, and it was like seriously felt like I was in Siberia. It was so cold, and I'm not one to usually complain about being cold. I'm usually the opposite. It's too hot. Um, but I was absolutely freezing. It was so cold. Yeah, so I didn't sleep a wink on the plane. My daughter and my wife managed to get a little bit, but yeah, me absolutely nothing.
What, because it was so cold, or?
Yeah, because it was so cold. Yeah, and I'm dressed in a t-shirt, shorts, and flip flops. You know, so I'm not prepared for any sort of weather or temperature below 25.
There must have been sort of icicles, were there, coming down from the
Yeah,
air con vent. I guess it's better than it being hot, though, right? Because there's nothing worse, is there, than
yes,
being on a really hot and
absolutely,
stuffy aeroplane, but still unpleasant if
absolutely.
it's too cold, Jordan. Yeah.
I think yeah, I think that was the like it wasn't a problem. That was just like the only issue really that I can really think of. And yeah, we arrived, got through, you know, customs and whatnot really, really easily. Although like at the airport, we landed in what's the name of the Don Mang Airport, I think it is. There's two airports in Bangkok. We landed in Dong Mang Airport, and the queue for going through passport control was incredible. It was really, really busy. Yeah, there were loads and loads and loads of people there. So that took a little bit of time, but After we got through there, no problem at all. Managed to get the equivalent of an Uber um, to our hotel. Again, very little problem. It was great. Um, and yeah, from there we actually slept for a few hours because we were completely shattered from the travel.
I bet you were. I bet. Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about Bangkok then. What were your impressions of it as a city? Would you recommend it as a place to go and visit?
I would say that I want to go back. So there's
Oh,
my
wow.
answer.
Perfect.
uh, Definitely. I was very impressed with the city. I was very impressed with um, the transportation as well. Like what we have in England is Uber. What we have over here in Southeast Asia is Grab. Practically the same kind of thing. Easy to get, really reasonably priced to get around the city, and yeah, it was fantastic. Actually, I really enjoyed exploring. I want to say a small part of the city because I don't think we scratched the surface in where we could have gone or where we probably should have looked at as well. Because unfortunately, we had a little bit of thundery, stormy weather, um, and it rained. Majority of the time, it rained. There were a couple of spells where it was bright, but majority of the time it was raining. They had thunderstorms, and yeah, we didn't really explore as much as what we could have done. But yeah, what I saw, I thought it was really good. I really liked it a lot, actually.
So when would be, do you reckon, like the best time of year to visit? Is it like the rainy season there now? So as you said,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would imagine. I think that perhaps high season in um, Thailand is probably maybe similar to the Philippines in a sense that around end of the year, like
Yeah.
December, beginning of the year as well, like January, February time. I think like those months are probably the busiest and maybe the best in terms of weather and temperature. Because we've also got like rainy season here as well in the Philippines. It's been raining a lot too. So I think probably it's somewhat similar in terms of climate and the temperatures and the weather that we get. So yeah, maybe towards the end of the year, I think Thailand is probably quite good.
Cool. And tell me a bit about the food then, because you were excited to try the food, weren't you, before you went? There's
I think
one
I
food
think
item in
you were
particular.
excited about one thing more than I was. Yes.
There's one thing in particular that I want to know all about. But tell me, firstly, like tell me generally about the food. How did you get on with it? Did you like it?
The food is superb. It really is. We we managed to find a nice little eatery near to the hotel. I think locals go there for their lunchtime, things like that. And what's interesting, they got like little stalls, um, but not what you think. It's kind of really cool how they've designed it, how they do it. Each stall has its own like little kitchen area. It's like a proper kitchen that they have, and they cook it and prepare it and everything. So it's really awesome. But the variety of food was incredible, and it was so reasonably priced that you couldn't really argue with it. It was great for the quality, the price. It was absolutely amazing. And we also went to Chinatown specifically for the curry that I had seen on social media. Um, it's amazing now, right? You see so many places on social media, like that's where you can do your research for a holiday or a trip. So I saw this curry, again, street food curry place, was so popular on social media that I thought, okay, I've got to go there. I have to try it. We went there and it was amazing. It was so good. Again, price was fantastic, but the food was excellent. It really, really was. I had the yellow curry, which was with pork, and I'd never tried yellow curry before. I tried green curry, Thai green curry, but yellow curry was fantastic. It was really, really more sort of creamy. I think it had more coconut milk in it, but the flavor was fantastic. Really, really good. Yeah.
So was that probably like the best meal that you had then? That Thai yellow curry, was that the best thing you ate there?
For me, I would say that was the best one. Yes, definitely.
Cool.
And my daughter loved it as well, which I was surprised at because she's being 8 years old. You know, they can be a little bit picky with food and they don't want to try certain things. But she was great. She loved the curry, and even she said, "This is the best food that I've had in Bangkok." So yeah, she was happy with it too.
Amazing. Now, Jordan, come on, tell me about the scorpion, because you sent me a photo. You WhatsApped me a photo, didn't you? Where you, let's face it, you looked quite confused and bemused with this scorpion.
Yes, very
So
much so.
talk to
Yes.
me about the scorpion. What happened?
Well, I thought it was something that was readily available everywhere, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
What,
It
like in
was.
McDonald's, you mean? You thought you'd wander in and get a McScorpion share box, or what?
Imagine that, a McScorpion. That would be brilliant. um, yeah, I just thought that it was more. Yeah, more readily available in terms of street food, but it wasn't at all. Um, Funnily enough, the place that I found it in was in a shopping mall area. It was at the bottom floor where they had like a big food market, and where I also took the picture of the alligator that I thought was appropriate maybe for your lunch one day. Uh, um, but yeah, I found it there, and yeah, it was weird because the array of exotic food that they had on the stall was incredible. They had millipedes, centipedes, tarantulas, crickets, scorpions, of course. Yeah, it was quite surprising. When you look at it, you're like, oh, whoa, okay, like this is real. This is happening. So yeah, I asked for the scorpion, and then they said, "Do I want pepper on it?" And I was like, I just my question was, is that how everybody eats them? Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, yeah, pepper it is. Go for it. So he
What, like
seasoned it.
black pepper?
Yeah, like yeah, basically it was like yeah, Salt Bay but pepper.
Yeah.
So yeah, put some pepper on it, and yeah, I took the little fella away, and I, I must have sat there for about 2 minutes just staring at it, thinking, "What on earth have I done? Why am I doing this?" And yeah, in the end, I took the plunge. I ate part of it, and I can honestly say it was like eating Lego bricks. It was so hard. It felt like I was crunching through plastic. yeah, it wasn't necessarily a good experience.
No, sure. I'm guessing that though that the local people there would buy scorpion as a snack. I mean, how long had the scorpions been on the stool? Presumably they weren't.
Yeah,
Presumably they have a big turnover of scorpions on the stool. People must
you
buy
would
them,
think
right?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
interesting.
I don't know, but um, yeah, I can only think to myself that if somebody is into eating scorpion, they must have an incredibly chiseled jaw, because eating that like on a regular basis, man, you're gonna use the face muscles that you've got around your jaw, because it was hard. It was very hard.
It's quite clearly an acquired taste, isn't it? Maybe the more you eat it, you get into it. Maybe it becomes
Yeah,
a bit of a
possibly.
delicacy.
I don't
Interesting.
know. Yeah,
Would you have it with the pepper or without the pepper if you had it again, Jordan?
I don't think it made a difference, to be honest. I think with or without, it's gonna be the same. I don't think any seasoning of any sort would have made it different. So yeah, are you quite privy to eating exotic food, or how are you with sort of exotic food like that?
Yeah, to be honest, like I normally would try everything. I'd try
Okay.
lots of different dishes and I love, yeah, I love being adventurous with food, but I've never ever tried exotic food, if we call it that. So, um, yeah, if I do go to Bangkok in the future, which I genuinely really hope that I do, then I'll have to give it a go. Maybe I'll try I can't even say it, a tarantula. Maybe that can be my challenge. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I guess in the UK we have jellied eels, don't we? That is
Yes. Yeah.
quite I wouldn't call it exotic, but
No.
jellied eels are definitely an acquired taste, probably, aren't they?
Yes, definitely
Um,
so. Yeah, it's
I mean, we don't have these kind of exotic, creepy crawlies that we eat at all.
no, no. I think yeah, I think it's interesting, and I can understand why people do it, because they're very of course, wherever you are, they're readily available in terms of being able to catch them or things like that. So I can understand it's part of their local culture. But yeah, for me, eating or trying, I wouldn't say eat, because I didn't eat all of it. One bite. um, yeah, I don't think that I would ever want to eat something that hard again. It was just yeah, it was too for me. It was too hard. Really, really like eating a Lego brick.
So not even rubbery then, not even rubbery in texture. It was just like you could almost crack your teeth on it, could you?
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, that's um unless my one was just particularly hard, that it was um
Well done.
perhaps cooked differently or whatever, I don't know. Um but yeah, it seemed like it was going to break my teeth at some point.
Maybe the part of the scorpion that you ate, they don't eat. Maybe you ate the bit that they pick
I
off.
I said to them, I said, do you eat everything? He said, yeah, everything, no problem. Yeah. So, so yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, it's interesting.
it is. Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Any other things that you saw in the city, Jordan, that you'd recommend in terms of sort of, touristy things that you did and saw? I know you were hindered by the weather a little bit, but
Yes.
did
Yeah.
what other places did you get to visit?
I think one place that is really spectacular is the palace. So it's really huge. It's massive and so beautifully designed, of course. And yeah, I think again, if I went back there, I would actually go inside. We just walked around and had a look around the outside, but next time, I think we will probably go in. I think it will be a great, great place to have a look around. But yeah, the palaces, the temples are beautiful, of course. So
Mm.
those are definitely worth seeing. One place that we didn't go that I really wanted to try was the floating markets. Um, Bangkok and Thailand is famous for floating markets. I wanted to go to one of them, but every day, especially morning time, is the best time to go. It was raining, so we just decided against it. I didn't really want to get soaked and have a bad experience, so we decided not to go and leave it for another day. But one interesting place, I think, especially for kids, if people are going to Bangkok with kids and they like animals, they have a snake farm, which is um, partly to do with creating anti venom. So they milk the snakes full of their venom, and then they use that venom to create anti venom as well. So we went there because my daughter was just going on and on and on about trying to hold a snake. She wanted to go to the snake farm. I said, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And we watched them milk the venom out of one of the snakes, and then we had a look around, and we had to wait an hour or so, and then come back, and then she held a ball python in the afternoon. So yeah, that was quite fun and interesting because it's a different experience to learn and educate yourself about snakes. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a big fan of
really?
snakes, but maybe going to a snake farm, you'd maybe see snakes in a different light. I mean, did you hold a snake as well? Did you have one on you or?
I held it with her, but before, I think, I don't know how many years ago, I've had a big boa on me before. I've held corn snakes. I think I've also held a Burmese python as well. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
blimey,
I like snakes. I don't mind them.
you're like the English version of Crocodile Dundee.
That's not a knife. This is a
Well,
knife.
no, seriously though, I guess also because you're around animals all the time, aren't you? With your own,
Yes.
um, I guess it's a farm you'd call it in the Philippines.
Yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
I guess, and are there snakes in the Philippines, by the way? Dangerous snakes.
There are, but you don't really see them so much. Like there's one, I think it's called the green vine snake or tree. I think it's the tree vines. I can't remember the name of it now. It's really beautiful, bright green. It is
Oh wow.
not venomous at all.
Hmm.
But yeah, it looks beautiful. It really, really does. The colors. I think that's what's interesting for me about like snakes is the colors and the different patterns that they have. I find them quite interesting in those terms. But yeah, my daughter loves things like that, so it's great for her to enjoy something educational. And I'm all about like if you can go on holiday, but also throw in a few educational parts as well. I think that really, really enriches your son or your daughter's experience. And I was lucky enough to have it when I was younger. We went to Greece and my dad took me to volcanoes, and we learnt about the the sulfur and everything about the volcanoes. So that was fun for me. And yeah, I think being able to have some educational part of a holiday, I think is really good.
Well said. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's amazing. And yeah, the snake farm, that sounds like a very quite original experience, right? Because
Yeah,
not many people, I guess, would visit a snake farm. So that sounds
and
incredible. That sounds
yeah,
brilliant.
and to be in in the middle of Bangkok as well is quite funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's in practically like smack bang in the center of where the like the busiest areas are. So um, it's run by the Red Cross. So they do that kind of conservation, and also making sure that they've got the anti venom just in
Mm,
case somebody gets bitten. They can treat them and save their lives. And
mm.
yeah, so yeah, quite interesting actually. I found it quite fun.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, it sounds like you had an amazing time then, and great that you want to go back. So,
Uh, Well, not only that, my daughter's already planning what she wants to do when she goes back there. She's already said, right, when we go back to Bangkok, I want to go here. I want to do. I'm like, right, okay, fine.
oh, brilliant, brilliant. Well, maybe we can meet there, Jordan. It might be a Bangkok could be a quite a good
Yes,
meeting point in
yeah,
between.
that would be
Um,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
I reckon that would be fantastic if we can. That would be awesome.
cool.
But what about yourself? What have you been up to recently?
Yeah, I've been living in Wimbledon actually for the past couple of weeks in London with my son. My son's
Getting prepared for the tennis?
that's it, warming up, getting back into training. Luckily for me, it's not too busy because the tennis hasn't started yet there. But
Yeah.
my son is doing his GCSE exams in Wimbledon at an exam centre.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, we've sort of moved up there for a few weeks, and it's been great. It's been great to firstly spend time with my son.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time together, so it's been great. Lots of really nice walks because my son is quite health conscious and fitness conscious. So we've
Awesome.
done loads of walking, thousands of steps every
Perfect.
day exploring. And also the location of our hotel, it's like a fast food lover's paradise. So you got I couldn't believe it when we arrived. You got the hotel and then pretty much every fast food you could imagine, any fast food restaurant you could imagine within a 5-minute walking
Wow.
distance of the hotel. So there's a Pizza Hut, there's a KFC, there's a Burger King, there's a McDonald's,
Yeah.
everything there. And obviously my son being a teenager, he's health conscious and fitness conscious, but he also likes a pizza and he likes a burger. So it's been
Sure.
quite cool. It's been quite cool actually.
Oh, good. Very good. That's awesome. Is he staying up there for the foreseeable future, or is was it only those weeks that he needed to be there?
Yeah, we've got a few more weeks to
Right.
come. So, but not for such a long period. It's just a couple of days here and there that
Right.
we'll be back up there. But yeah, it's been nice. I got into quite a nice routine. Of course, at hotel breakfast,
Yeah.
your full English breakfast in the morning is really nice, and then try and burn off the calories in the evening walking. So yeah,
Oh,
it's been
good.
great. And do you know Wimbledon? Have you ever been to Wimbledon or visited that area?
I have been there many years ago. But yeah, I don't remember much of it, to be honest. I'm not. I wouldn't say that I'm familiar with it at all. To be fair.
Oh, it's very nice. Anyway, if you ever find yourself in London with a couple of hours to kill, I'd
Yeah.
really recommend it. There's a Buddhist temple there as well, actually, a Thai Buddhist temple that we visited.
Really?
That was very nice, and we thought of you because we knew you were
Oh,
in Thailand. That was interesting. You wouldn't expect that in Wimbledon.
No,
Um, and
no.
that was cool, and it was obviously very peaceful. And we sat in a lovely garden with some water and a fountain. That was nice to relax, especially
Oh,
after a long exam that my son had
yeah,
had. So that was
yeah.
an unexpected gem, I guess you could say, in Wimbledon that we found. So it was nice.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do you like, for example, in Wimbledon? Do you do you feel that Wimbledon is one of those areas in London that is becoming more and more popular, or is it has it always been popular? Because to be honest, I don't really know much about it. Just interesting. Has it always been a popular area for people to go, or is it just recently that it's become quite popular?
I think it probably has always been a
Right.
popular area due to the tennis that obviously
Yeah.
we mentioned, because it's kind of like a iconic, world famous location, isn't it? Because of the
Yeah.
tennis. But I mean, I'm sure you know London, made up of so many boroughs and almost like a collection of villages, isn't it? London,
Yes.
all each borough and each kind of village, if you like it, are very different. Yeah, Wimbledon's lovely, and you've got the Wimbledon sort of town, and then you've got Wimbledon Village, which is a
Right.
quieter, very nice area, and then you've got Wimbledon Common, where of course
Yeah.
the Wombles of
Yeah,
Wimbledon.
the Wombles of Wimbledon. Yeah.
So I yeah did a lot of wombling about on the common, and yeah, and some lovely gardens and just nice places to walk, basically
Oh,
parks,
good.
and yeah, very very nice.
Oh, sounds awesome. Yeah. I I I I must admit that I think that's one of the things that I miss is the traditional old English villages. Like
Mm.
uh, I try to explain them and show pictures to people, and um, but you can't really get the vibe, or you can't really get the feeling of them when you're in a little village in England. There's something interesting, something special about it, isn't there? I like the I like the atmosphere of the old traditional villages in the UK. It's something unique that we have.
Yeah, definitely. And so you're talking about maybe, there being a butcher's and a florist's and a baker's and a little corner
Absolutely.
shop and a nice community feel, right?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
and also the architecture is usually a lot different to the modern architecture in terms of how the houses were built back then, because majority of villages would probably be roughly around over 100 years old now, I would imagine. And yeah, the architecture around stone walls that you get, flint walls as well. Funnily enough, my dad is very good with flint. He makes a lot of flint walls actually in our area, and
Mm.
yeah, beautiful. They just look so much more. For me, anyway, I like them more than the modern ones. I think they look, yeah, just spectacular, really. So, yeah, I miss the villages in England.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, Wimbledon, yeah, it's a very affluent area as well. Some beautiful houses
Mm,
there,
yeah.
beautiful cars as well. You'll see Ferraris and
Wow.
Porsches around. The prices as well. I was in Wimbledon Village with my son. We went into a pub to get a drink. So I ordered a pint of Guinness and I ordered two Pepsis.
Yeah.
How much do you think I paid?
Well, I would say this is my yeah. I'm gonna do the maths now. I would say that a pint is around, let's say, £5.50 for the pint, and then a couple of cokes, £2 each. So a tenner ish, around a tenner. More, really? 15?
15 quid, over 15 quid. It was
Bloody hell.
nearly 16 quid for 3 drinks. And my son as well, right? My son. He won't mind me saying this. He is famous for spilling drinks. I don't know what it is about the boy. At a wedding, in a pub, in a restaurant, he'll always knock a drink over. And of course, what happened? Got back to the table,
Yeah.
and his coke went flying everywhere, all over the table. It made good content because I took some photos, like I'd spilt my drink, um, and I did find it funny, but yeah, it's pricey,
Yes.
pricey.
Yeah. That's incredible actually. I didn't really expect it to be that high. Wow. Yeah,
You go
prices
you go
are incredible.
you go for a meal there, and you have to remortgage your house, Jordan, basically.
Take a loan
So
out, yeah.
take a bank loan out, yeah. Um, All right,
Crikey, that's crazy.
should we move on to news stories? What do you think?
Absolutely. Yes. What
Crack
story
on.
do you have this week?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, please go ahead.
I saw an interesting story. It's a travel related story about
Awesome.
flying, and
Hmm.
apparently next year in 2026, there's an airline that are going to introduce standing seats on
Ah.
aeroplanes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where you're pretty much, like when you're perched on the tube,
Yeah.
you have like the little shelves where you can sit on,
Yeah, 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 I know. Yeah.
like a seat. So you're
Yes.
not completely upright, but you're kind of like at this angle. So
Yeah.
there's an airline that are going to introduce these standing seats on aeroplanes for
Mm.
short flights, but they say it'll make the flights a lot cheaper because they can cram more people
Yeah.
onto the plane, and it's cheaper materials to build the seats. So I guess my question would be, would you be prepared to pay less
Mm.
but have to stand for a flight somewhere? What's your view on that?
Yeah, probably if it's not too long. Like anything anything within an hour and a half, maybe I wouldn't have a problem with. For me, I think that'll be okay. If we go into like 4 hours, no, not really. I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, if the flight's around about an hour and a half or so, I think probably would. Yeah, if it makes the if it makes the flight cheaper, then I think perhaps it could be okay. But I don't really like the idea of having a seat so close to my face, right? So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, again, if it's only for a short time, I think it would be quite yeah, quite bearable maybe. What about yourself? What's your take on this? Do you
Yeah,
think it's good?
I laughed because I had exactly the same thought as you. Like I
Yeah.
thought, oh, it would be good because it would be cheaper and I could stand. But then, as you have, I thought, well, it also depends on how close the seat in front of you is to your
Yeah.
nose, doesn't it? How much they're cramming you in. I guess if there was a bit of space in front of
Yeah.
you, it would be fine. But if the other person's seat is literally going to be up against your nose, then I wouldn't be up for that. To be honest with you, I wouldn't.
No, not at all. I think I think as if the possibility would be that they have like a communal area where you can like get up out of your seat, so to speak, your leaning perch, and and like have a little bit of like a walking area or like a little space that you can kind of not have something in your face, then I think that would be okay. But yeah, I probably wouldn't want anything too close to me, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting that they're trying to get more out of us, the travelers, the customers. Um, the leg room as it is terrible at the moment, and they still want to cram more people in. I think that's that could be good in terms of price, but comfortability, no, not at all.
No, exactly, and it's almost the opposite, complete opposite, isn't it, of being in a business class or first class seat. That
Yes,
obviously you walk past when you exit the plane, and
yep,
you see, wow, the leg room and the incredible space that you get. It's
yeah.
complete gone the other way, hasn't it? Gone the other way from that kind of luxury.
Yeah.
All right,
Have
cool. What? Go on.
have you ever flown business?
Never, never.
Really? Oh no.
Think I've said that my friend who I who I sort of sometimes fly with, she always gets upgraded, to business
Really?
class. I guess she has lots of air miles and a
Ah.
beautiful smile. I guess that
Yes.
she can get her upgrade, whereas I've tried always rejection, always refused. Um, so yeah, I've never flown business class or first class, but I would really like to. It's one of my ambitions
Yeah.
to turn left as you get on the plane instead of turning right. I'd love to. Have you,
Absolutely.
Jordan? Have you ever?
No, no. I flew once from Japan to the Philippines, and I think that was premium economy. Like that was the cheapest one that they had, but it was like business in a way because there was only two seats, and they were quite sort of comfortable and really um, a lot more legroom than the usual. So yeah, I've flown premium economy before. That's only once, and that was just because it was the only one available that they had. So um, yeah, I would, same as you. I would love to fly business. But I have heard though, once you do it, you don't ever want to go back to economy again.
No, exactly. I once also flew. I think it was called business or first class. It was when I flew to Nepal, but
Oh yes,
in reality, all it was, I was at the front of the plane. All it meant was that I got my food before everyone else. And then, bizarrely, I got sprayed with the air steward's aftershave as well when we landed.
really?
He covered me in it. Yeah, he was standing next to me, and he started spraying himself with
Wow.
this fragrance, and
Yeah.
I sort of looked up at him and smiled, and then he started spraying it all over me, coated me in it. So I was thinking, is this the service you get on business class? You get covered in
Yeah.
aftershave. I don't know. I don't know. I
Or
smelt good for the rest of the journey, but
yeah, or yeah, maybe he thought you needed it. I don't know.
exactly. He got a whiff and thought, oh my god, let's get the Calvin Klein out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan, what's
That's
your
awesome.
what's your news story this week? What have you found?
So it's an interesting one, isn't it? That we see a lot of posts online that go viral, and people debate about them, and they try to kind of go one side or the other. And there was a debate that happened quite recently. Someone brought it up, I believe, on Twitter, I think, X or whatever it's called. Um, and it's one gorilla versus 100 men, or 100 people. Who would win? Would it be the gorilla? Would it be the 100 men, the 100 people? Loads of people have been chiming in and talking about it. And I wanted to ask you about this said post and get your thought process and opinion, who do you think would win? One silver, I think it's a silverback gorilla, whatever. Yeah, one gorilla versus 100 people or 100 men.
So this is really cool because obviously I was talking about me and my son in Wimbledon, right? Doing lots of walks, and
Yeah.
obviously when you're walking, you're often chatting. And we actually talked about this because my son had seen this on social
Okay.
media.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, and he was talking to me about this. I think without a doubt the silverback gorilla is going to win. Have you
Yeah.
seen the size of a silverback? And not
Yeah.
only that, I mean, it's packed with muscle, but not only
Oh
that,
yeah.
it is so nimble as well. It's so agile, isn't it? The
Yeah.
silverback. Um,
Absolutely.
I mean, are there any other factors like the men? Are they overweight? Are they into fitness? What kind of men are they? But I don't think it matters, Jordan. I think the silverback's going to win every time. What about you?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think some people are trying to say, well, if 100 men all went at the same time, maybe that would be the only chance that they would have. And I still think even then, 100 men going at the same time, you're not all going to get to the gorilla at the same time. You know, there's only a certain number of people that can surround a gorilla. I don't think you're going to be able to control it. I just don't think it's possible. Yeah, one bat with the backhand and about 10 people will go flying. So.
Yeah, exactly, and also getting delving a bit deeper into it. If you think about the psychology of it, like the
Yes.
men, once the men start seeing the other men being spanked about and being going flying, they're going to get scared. They're going to turn around. They're going to run away.
Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, you
Gorilla
you
wins.
you've got to you've got to have like those brave people that go first and are gonna basically risk themselves dying just so that other people can leg it back home. Nah, this is not for me.
Yeah, exactly. What was the consensus online? What was the like? What were people saying? Did you look at it in a bit
I,
more detail?
I think a lot of people are leaning towards the gorilla, of course, but there are some people that are adamant that 100 men, 100 people would um, defeat the gorilla. So yeah, I think again as well, surroundings might be um, a factor. Like if you're surrounded, if it's in a field or if it's in uh, a city or something, I think that could play a factor. But I just think, yeah, I think the gorilla is definitely the winner out of these 100%.
Do you think we've overanalyzed this as well, which is also quite funny? We've sort of gone into it in ridiculous depth and detail.
Yeah, maybe, but I think that's the fun of it. I think that it's
Sure.
fun when you look into things a little bit more deeper and a little bit more sort of analytical skills. And yeah, maybe people are over analyzing it. Maybe we're looking into it like trying to change the factors so that it can swing one way or the other. But yeah, I think that most people would probably pick the gorilla over the 100 people, no matter the size of those people. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting story. I don't know why it caused so much havoc online. Like it was just one simple question that somebody asked, and it went mental online. Like everybody was talking about it.
There was another one, wasn't there? I forget the details. I'm probably going to get it wrong here, but wasn't it like in the world, are there more wheels or are there more windows? Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't heard of that one. That's interesting. Yeah.
I think it was something like that anyway. Wheels and
Right.
windows, or doors and wheels, or something like that. But
Wow.
maybe that's one for next time. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Interesting to
love yeah,
consider.
cool. All right, Jordan,
Fantastic.
it's been a fantastic episode. I've really enjoyed all of the topics and stuff that we've talked about.
Oh,
The gor-
absolutely.
the gorilla is definitely going to feature in the thumbnail for the YouTube. The YouTube of this episode for
it,
sure.
it should be us standing there and like facing the gorilla.
Oh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I'll see if I can do that. I can't promise, but um, so I've written down some really interesting language actually that has come up.
Awesome.
Obviously, the English to take away part of the pod.
Yes.
Shall I kick things off?
Please, as always.
All right. So the first one's a nice idiom, and you used it to talk about sleep, and
Oh,
you said that you didn't sleep very much. So you said, I didn't sleep a wink
mm,
on the plane.
yes.
I think it's a quite a natural expression, actually. I would say it as well.
Yeah.
Often with such, is it? Would you call it an idiom? I guess it is an idiom or a
Uh,
phrase.
yeah, but yeah, maybe it's yeah, idiomatic phrase, isn't it? It's not yeah, it's not something that is not used every day. I think a lot
Hmm.
of native people will use this phrase quite a lot actually. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, definitely something that we naturally use.
It is. It's a nice natural one. So if you don't sleep very well, you can say, "I didn't sleep a wink."
Perfect. Yes. And I liked the one that you mentioned when we were talking about the temperature. I said it was extremely cold, but you mentioned that it was better than it being too hot and stuffy. The word stuffy, when you're talking about something being a little bit too humid, um, it feels like it's too heavy and you feel uncomfortable in that situation. For example, there's lots of people in an elevator or a lift. Um, it can feel very stuffy because there's not much air and it's hot, body heat, etc. So you can feel very stuffy in confined spaces. So I like that one. I thought that was a great description of talking about that particular situation.
Lovely. Next one was talking about Bangkok, and yeah, you said that you only did a tiny fraction of the things that you could have done in
Yes.
the city. So you said we only scratched the surface
Mm,
of Bangkok, which I thought was a really nice expression. So if you only scratched the surface, it can mean that you've only done a tiny amount of something. You
yeah.
haven't done everything.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Good. Um, talking about food, especially exotic food. I asked if you had tried any exotic food before, and you said that you are usually quite adventurous when it comes to food. I thought this was a great one to use when talking about trying lots of different things or lots of different dishes. We can say that we are adventurous because we don't just stick to things that we know. We try local food or try certain dishes that might not be part of our culture. So I like the word adventurous when talking about trying different types of food.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be adventurous, isn't it, with food? I mean, it's how boring
Sure.
would it be, right, if you're just eating the same meals every day?
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, on the same topic of food, a synonym for a restaurant,
Uh huh.
you said you called it an eatery, which I thought
Mm,
was an interesting word. Yeah, so
yes.
again, elegant repetition. If students are writing and they don't want to keep repeating the word restaurant, could use the word eatery, which was
Absolutely.
yeah, nice word.
Awesome. Um, I liked this one when you described your son. You said he is very health conscious. And this is a nice way to describe someone who likes to look after themselves, eat healthily majority of the time, and focus on doing exercise, sports, things like that. Basically, taking care of themselves. Someone who is health conscious.
Lovely. And going from my son over to your daughter, you were talking about 8-year-olds. Generally, they can sometimes not want to eat certain things, but you said your daughter's not like that. So
Mm,
someone that picks and chooses their food, you use the word picky, a
yes.
picky eater. Um, but I guess lucky for you guys, your daughter's not a picky eater, which is fantastic. It must be great.
She can be, but uh my wife does not let her be a picky eater. She has no
Okay,
choice sometimes. my
fair
my
enough.
my wife is like, "You're trying this, whether you like it or not."
Well, I'm sure she'll appreciate that in the long run, right? Because
Oh, she's
yeah,
like, I think we're quite lucky in the sense that she's gotten used to spicy food. So even at 8 years old, she finds things quite spicy sometimes. Even for me, it's quite spicy, but she still eats it, and yeah, it's quite nice to have, I think, that exposure. But oh yeah, she can be picky, definitely, but yeah, my wife definitely doesn't allow her to be.
amazing.
Awesome.
All
The
right.
next one that I really liked when we were talking about Wimbledon, the phrase that you used, if you have got a couple of hours to kill, so hours to kill, um, you should look around Wimbledon. Great phrase. Hours to kill means time that you effectively want to waste. You don't have any plans, you don't need to be anywhere, need to do anything, but you have to wait around in that area or nearby that area. Then you have hours to kill. You need to do something to pass the time. So I love that phrase, hours to kill.
Great. Okay. Oh, it's my last one already. Okay, my
Yeah.
last one. This is a really cool expression, actually. I'm not sure if it's British English. I'm not sure if they use it in America. But you were talking about the snake farm, and you
Yep.
said that the snake farm is in the center of the city. But you didn't
Yes.
just say it's in the center of the city. You said it's smack bang in the center of the city. Really cool expression to be smack bang in the center of
Yeah.
somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and the last one from myself is the one that you were talking about, the incredibly priced drinks that you guys had, uh, that your son threw on the floor. Uh, um, of course, and that is pricey. The drinks were pricey, meaning they were very expensive. Again, it's a nice casual expression that we can use just to say something is expensive. We can say, "Oh, that's a bit pricey," and if you don't want to use expensive, then this is a great alternative to add to your vocabulary, of course. But yeah, great word to use.
Beautiful. Right, let me recap. So we had
Go for it.
I didn't sleep a wink,
Hmm.
stuffy, only scratched the surface, adventurous, and eatery, to be health conscious, a picky eater, to have a couple of hours to kill, to be smack bang in the center or smack bang in the middle of a place, and pricey or a
Yeah,
bit pricey. Nice.
absolutely. Yeah, lovely variety there.
Absolutely. What an episode. Episode 21. Jordan,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
guess it's about time to finish. Just to say to everyone, please email us if you have any news stories that you've seen that you think, oh, this would be interesting for Jordan and Richard to discuss, or indeed any English language questions as well that you might have. Anything on grammar, anything on vocabulary, anything on phrasal verbs, which Jordan is, has a particular interest in. And the email address is English to takeaway pod at gmail.com.
It was great. That episode flew by. I can't believe it's already over an hour. But yeah, it was great chatting with you about everything. And yeah, looking forward to the next one, of course.
Cool. All right. Looking
All
forward to
right.
the next one, Jordan. Cheers. Take care.
Take care. Bye
Bye,
bye.
mate.